Mōrena whānau. Ooh, my phone is a bit crooked. So, today is day 7 of my 25-day challenge to share my experiences with mental health. I really hope that the videos that I've shared before, while there's no real structure or anything to them, it's what I feel, and I hope that I get the point across clear. Not clear as mud, just clear. I just want to thank my bestie Darian, who nominated me for this challenge. I don't know if I said it before, but it took me a wee while to accept it, because I didn't think that I would have anything useful to share. But as the days have gone by, I've realised, hey, this has affected me, and I've done this to get through it, and this has affected me. So it's been a really useful challenge to be able to voice these experiences that I've been through and share them with people, because like a problem shared is a problem halved, right? So it's been really, really awesome. So I'm super thankful to my bestie for nominating me for this challenge, and also my other bestie Danielle, who's doing a similar challenge, but she's doing exercise, an 8-kilometer trek for her 25 days. And I think that's awesome too, because for myself, exercise helps me produce that happy chemical that keeps me going for the day. So I'm super proud of her too. Super proud to be to be on this journey with my besties, and be able to talk to each other about things that we can't talk to each other, other people about, but know that we've got each other's back 100%, and I love that. It's a beautiful thing. So love you, besties. But the thing that I wanted to talk about today is a topic that, if you're not open and honest, can be quite hard to discuss. But I try to be as open and honest as I can, in all sorts of situations. So my topic for today is intergenerational trauma. So I want to kick it off with sharing an experience with you that I remember from childhood. And it was, I was at home with my brother, and a lady came around, and she asked for my brother and I to go to her house. I can't remember if it was a birthday or Christmas, but for some reason we were allowed to go over there, and so we did. And I remember being sat in the middle of the lounge, or somewhere in the lounge that was sort of where I could see the majority of what was going on in the lounge. And all the kids around us, my brother and I, seemed to be getting presents to open, but we were made to sit there and watch while everyone else was opening their presents. And I remember feeling, because I wasn't thinking, I didn't understand it, but I remember feeling like, what? How come we're not getting presents? Why is everyone else happy and we don't get to be happy with them? And excited. And I remember thinking, oh, this sucks. This sucks. We're only kids, and why are we sitting here if we don't have, we're not allowed to participate in this event? Because being kids, you see something, you want it, but yeah, we were made to sit there and just watch, and we weren't allowed to say anything. And I've always remembered that throughout my life. But I later found out, as I got older, that the reason for that is that the lady who took us had issues with another person in my life, and instead of going to that person and talking to them and trying to get through it, she decided to take it out on myself and my brother. And unfortunately for us, I never had a relationship with that lady, because she treated us like that all the time. And it was really sad, because I saw the really cool things that she did for other people around me, and I just thought, why? What have I done for you to not show me your love and not show me your heart? You are an adult and I have to respect you, but I don't feel that coming from you. And I always I always, because this particular lady, I never had anyone else like her in my life, like a role model like her in my life, and so she was all I had. But I never had her, if that makes sense. And I even right up until the day that she died, I always wondered. I always thought to myself that we could have had a really cool relationship if that intergenerational trauma hadn't happened, and we had to pay for it. So that was that's something that I don't know if I regret it, but I really wish that we did have a relationship, and I really wish that she gave me a chance to know the real me. Because I think I'm not a bad person, so but I really feel now that she has passed on, that we're good now, and that again, like, that's a cool feeling, but that again makes me wish even more that we had a relationship when she was still alive. So that's one experience of that intergenerational thingy that I've experienced through my life. How I got through that is there wasn't really much that I could do. I just sort of kept my distance. I was polite and civil when I had to be. There were many times that she made an example of me in front of her family, and for no reason at all. I have always had respect for her family. I haven't necessarily always received the love that her family have shown other people, especially when she was still alive. I never received any kind of I was always made to feel uncomfortable around that family, and now that she's passed on, it's really interesting to me, because this family are really embracing of me now, and really caring and loving, and it just blows my mind. I'm like, I still don't understand if it's real or if it's fake, and I think that's a real sad thing to live with, to not know exactly where you stand, having experienced a lifetime of having to deal with the consequences of that intergenerational trauma, and then all of a sudden it flip, and then you are meant to flip and change your approach as well, and it just really confuses me sometimes. Surprising, it's not surprising. It is surprising for me, because these particular people are just so supportive of me now. Sometimes a little bit more, actually, sometimes more than my own family, and but I still have that thing in the back of my mind that's like, is this real, or am I just hoping too much that it is? And I always cover my mouth when I cry, because my lips go crazy, so that's what that is about. But so that's one example. I've been mistreated by a lot of people close to me, because of issues that they've had with other people who are close to me, and instead of talking about it and trying to sort out the problems, both myself and my brother have had to be the brunt of it. And I don't mean to speak on behalf of my brother, but I love him and I protect him with everything that I have, but he doesn't need my protection, so I'll stop talking about him. But there's been many. That's one particular instance that's really affected me throughout my life, and it's an unfortunate thing that something like this could cause somebody, can add onto somebody's depression and anxiety. But the fact is that it is, and so unfortunately for me and those around me who I love, I sometimes display some of these traits. It's a really big thing amongst the people that I am around all the time, to not speak about things, to not talk about, hey, this is pissing me off, can we talk about it? Instead, we use our kids as collateral sometimes. And I don't have kids, I have my nephew, and I admit that I do that sometimes, but I always make sure that I go back to him and I explain to him, I apologize to him and I ask him for his forgiveness, and I explain to him why I do that, and I tell him that I don't mean to do that. And it sucks, but when you've been brought up like this, when you've gone through a life like this, sometimes you don't know any other way. But the difference is, for me, is that I go back to him and I explain to him. I tell him that I love him. I don't mean to do this, and I feel that he has a good understanding of why that is. And so I'm not perfect, and I don't try to be, but I always am aware of my behaviour, and so that's in particular something that I try every day not to put him through, because he's the love of my life, he's my heart, and why do we do that to the people that we're supposed to love the most, right? So that's sort of how it's affected me over my life, in terms of the tools that I use to get through it. In that particular instance, like I mentioned, I stayed away from it. There was nothing I could do about it but just to be myself, and just be aware that you're doing it. Our kids don't deserve to put up with the shit that we've put up with.